Can Raw complete the hat-trick? Can Monday Night Raw deliver record low ratings for the third week in a row based on tonight's show? I think it just might. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Wrestling here for your Monday Night Raw review for the 25th of September. 2023. Now, I've been watching Monday Night Raw that regularly over the past few months. I've been watching it bits here, bits there, but mainly my brother has been reviewing Raw. Now, I did not see last week's Raw. I think I've seen maybe 2 Raws out of the last 6, but honestly, you could stop watching Raw for 6 weeks, 6 months. It's the same shit. Every time you watch it, it's the Judgment Day versus Owens Insane. It's Cody Rhodes coming out asking, what do you want to talk about? We literally get the same fucking shite on Raw. It's garbage. We've had JD McDonough trying to join the Judgment Day for God knows how long. Everything revolves around the Judgment Day, and it's always the same crap, week in, week out. When are they going to move on? When are they going to freshen this up? Don't they realise that this is just not drawn? For some reason, they think the Judgment Day are massive stars because whenever they're on NXT, they can get the rating up. Forget about NXT. What about Monday nights? Nobody wants to watch the Judgment Day on Monday nights. You look at Seth Rollins tonight. I mean, for the past 2 months, Seth Rollins, longer than 2 months, but let's take 2 months for example, he hasn't looked like a champion. We don't even see the guy till like midway through the show. He's not announced during the show. We don't see many segments during the show. He's not hyped up by the commentators during the show. You literally do not see Seth Rollins till about halfway through the show. And he just randomly comes out. It's like you almost forget about Seth Rollins. See, by the time Seth Rollins comes out and makes his entrance, you forget he's even on the show. And how can this be possible? I mean, watching wrestling back in the day, the champion featured throughout the show. The champion would have like 4 or 5 segments throughout the show, whether it be Austin and Rock or later on when Cena was dominating, or Triple H in Evolution, or on SmackDown during JBL or whatever, or Brock Lesnar. Look how many times the champion appeared throughout the show. And if he wasn't in the opening segment, you can guarantee he was at least mentioned. The champion would have been mentioned in like the first 15 minutes. If he didn't open the first segment, or if he didn't have the opening match, there would be promos, or the commentators would be advertising them for later on that night. But Seth Rollins, you don't even get to see him for the first hour. And it's like, how can they treat the world champion like this? I'll tell you how, because he's not a fucking world champion. And this belt's a joke. Ever since they created the tournament for this belt, you knew it was going to be shit. But we need a new champion because Roman Reigns won't show up. So we need a championship belt for Raw. And what are we going to do? We're going to include 6 SmackDown guys in the tournament. Okay, what a fucking mess that is. Then you get to the final. Not only is it AJ versus Rollins, not only do you know that Rollins is going to win because he is the Raw guy, but AJ has been treated like a fucking mid-carder for years now. And that's been generous. So Seth Rollins is winning a vacant belt by beating a mid-carder. So how the hell is he supposed to get over? Seth Rollins went from jobbing out to Austin Theory for the US title to beating a mid-carder to win the world title. And now all of a sudden we're supposed to believe that he has. And if you look at it, since he won the belt, he's continued to face mid-carders on Raw. Finn Balor, Nakamura. These aren't main event guys. These aren't world championship level fucking guys. There's a reason why Nakamura's never had the title. There's a reason why Finn Balor got injured not even one day, not even 24 hours. Like, Finn Balor sucks. He'll never get the title again. Just look at the stadium. 46-year-old, wee midget man. The line starts behind me. I mean, fuck him. Fuck Finn Balor. How can people watch this shit and actually enjoy it? Seth Rollins comes out. All he has to do is wave his arms in the air, and then you've got the dumb fucking crowd going, oh, chanting his theme song. Is that impressive? Seth Rollins coming out looking like a transgender crossdresser, seriously, with all his stupid fucking attires, big stupid red boots, coming out looking, I don't know what he looks like, okay, but he doesn't look like a world champion to me, and that's enough to get the crowd to just go crazy and start singing his song like a bunch of imbeciles. You just look at these people singing Seth Rollins' song and you're like, They're not people you'd want to associate. They're not people you would consider cool people. I mean, what the hell? Austin came out. Austin was fucking great. The Rock came out. Hogan came out. Cena came out. And now they had to do stuff to get the reaction. Seth Rollins comes out and everybody just chants along with his shitty theme song. And his theme song sucks. I just don't get wrestling these days. It's just the nerds that's left. Raw now for the past couple weeks have been doing, what, 1.3 million? All the cool people have left wrestling. They have. Anyone listening to this review, you know this for a fact, okay? You know this for a fact. If any of your friends or family or co-workers or whatever, you don't tell them you watch wrestling. Of course you don't. You fucking don't. You deny it, man. If someone found out that you watched wrestling, you'd probably be embarrassed. Hell, I've got a channel on wrestling, and outside of the wrestling channel, I don't really like telling people I watch wrestling at all, man. They look down on you like you're a fucking nerd. And whose fault's that? WWE's. It's wrestling's fault. AEW's fault. Wrestling has just turned so bad over the past decade. I don't know what has happened to it, seriously, but it's went down the toilet. I don't think it's going to get any better. I truly believe, without a doubt, we are in the worst period in wrestling by far. I think the only period that comes close to this is the lockdown period, where we literally had like the same 8-man tag match every week for like 6 months in a row. It was Samoa Joe, Authors of Pain, Viking Raiders, Andrade, I want to say Buddy Murphy's, and maybe Seth Rollins. That shit was garbage, okay? But what we're getting right now, this is not good. And I don't even want to watch wrestling. I don't want to watch it anymore. There's been some bad periods, but I always remember watching wrestling, and even when I thought it sucked, there was always some good things. I remember hating wrestling in like 2013. I thought 2013, 2012, I thought those were horrible years for wrestling, but there was always like 4 or 5 guys on the roster that I actually enjoyed. You always had Cena and Punk, and you maybe have The Rock come back, or Brock Lesnar come back, or Taker come back, or Triple H come back, or you had Vince McMahon there, and you got good stuff. But now you look at it and there's nothing good. They've taken all the good stuff out of it, and watching 3 hours of Monday Night Raw, it's a tough watch, but we watched it, so we may as well review it. I don't know why I went on a 5-minute rant there, but I mean, wrestling sucks. We start with Cody Rhodes. He welcomes everyone to Raw. I'll be honest, I think Cody Rhodes is arguably maybe the most overrated and most boring person in WWE right now. And this is cut, and I enjoyed his initial return. I enjoyed his first year. I think he should have beat Roman Reigns. I think they made a massive mistake not having him win that match. But since the Roman Reigns match, the feud with Brock Lesnar, it sucked. It sucked. The feud sucked. The matches sucked. I mean, you can accept maybe the matches suck and whatever, but the entire feud was every week Cody coming out and Brock Lesnar not being there. And Cody Cody replies to Brock Lesnar. And then when Brock would turn up, it'd be, Brock Lesnar responds to Cody Rhodes. It's like, what are we doing here? And then Cody Rhodes comes out and he's like, what do you want to talk about? I don't want you to talk about nothing. You bore the tits clean off me. I do not want you to talk about nothing. He comes out tonight. He says that if everyone would indulge in me for a moment, I'm going to turn my back on the camera and see everybody in a sold-out arena. Does he think that's good? Does he think people care? Indulge me for a moment so I can turn my back. I mean, who gives a fuck about this? Him turning his back to the hard cam. Are we supposed to care? Then he drops a third innings reference to something that Paul Heyman mentioned 2 months ago. And it's like, this is supposed to be like a got ya moment. Cody Rhodes says the third innings, and we're supposed to believe this is great TV because Cody Rhodes referenced something that Paul Heyman mentioned 2 months ago on a post WWE, I think it was it SummerSlam? A post pay-per-view premium live event press conference. That's what we get here. Cody Rhodes mentioning third innings, and that's supposed to be like groundbreaking. No, it wasn't good. It was shit. It was fucking shit. Judgment Day came out to interrupt Cody. I think Cody's getting interrupted now every single week. Cody wants to talk about Jey Uso. No one is letting him talk about Jey Uso. I could not give a shit about Cody Rhodes or Jey Uso, to be honest. I mean, Jey Uso, he feels like a nobody now on Raw. On SmackDown, arguably, he felt like he could take the belt off Roman Reigns. He did. He felt huge on SmackDown. He comes to Raw, and he just feels like another guy. He just feels like some boring guy, mid-card guy that's in this Judgment Day feud. That's all that GSO feels like right now. Anyway, Judgment Day come out. Cody challenges him to a fight. It's 3-on-1. Wade Barrett says this is the worst mistake Cody Rhodes has ever made in his life. Really? I mean, come on. I don't think it's the worst mistake. Think of all the bad mistakes Cody has made in his life. Even just from a wrestling standpoint. You tell me, this is a guy that I remember him making the Big Show angry. He got into a feud with the Big Show and he had to defend his Intercontinental Championship against the Big Show at Mania. Surely that's a bigger mistake than taking a quick beatdown from the Judgment Day. But Wade Barrett says this is the biggest mistake that he's ever made. Cody Rhodes also says, what are you guys going to do tonight? You've got title matches. What are you going to do when Mami returns next week and you don't have any belts? What is Mami going to do when you guys are empty-handed? Dominic screams, keep Mami's name out your mouth. And it's like, Cody Rhodes is suggesting that, well, he's not really suggesting, he's outright saying that Rhea Ripley is the leader of this group and that she is going to be furious and that they're going to be scared of her if she returns and there's no belts left. And why are we doing this? Why are we pretending like these three guys are afraid of Rhea Ripley? Are you seriously telling me WWE isn't pushing this like fucking feminism, female empowerment down our throats? Come on. When would three guys ever be afraid of a woman? It just doesn't make any sense, but whatever. We got a brawl. They come out. Jey Uso appears. It's 3-on-2. Then Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn appear. McDonald appears with 2 chairs. Priest doesn't want to go in the ring for some reason, but they go in the ring and then they get their ass whooped. So there you go. That was that. We get the first. It was a shit segment, by the way. Bronson Reed versus Otis up next. Bronson Reed beats Otis. Who cares about Bronson Reed? They have this guy go on a winning streak, then he'll lose a few matches, lose all momentum, and then they'll try and build him back up again. I don't care, but what I will say is Maxine Dupree's hot, so I mean, maybe I'll give Raw a 1 rating for that alone. I don't know. Then we got Tegan Nox backstage. Honestly, I don't know how Tegan Nox is not released, because she should be. She is garbage, but she's still in the company, and Becky tells her that she needs to step on some toes. Becky wants Tegan to be the next in line. So there you go. We had that. Second match, we had Tommaso Ciampa versus Ludwig Kaiser. Ciampa wins. You kind of had a new entrance theme tonight, where it's like the beginning, it's like the beat like of Taz's song, like dun, dun, dun. I guess that's a nice wee intro to his song there, his entrance, but at the end of the day, it's Tommaso Ciampa. The guy is very short. The guy looks like a bum, looks like a homeless dude, and he's about 40 years old. So you just look at Tommaso Ciampa. This guy can't be a world champion. This guy can't really be anything. I think when you've got a Tommaso Ciampa, probably just putting him back on NXT and having him be like a placeholder, that's like the best thing for him. I just think we need to accept that there's some guys in WWE that they might be good in the ring and they might be okay on the mic and whatnot, but there's certain guys that just cannot be world champions, and Tommaso Ciampa is one of them. So hopefully they find a place for the guy, because I think he's okay. I actually don't mind Tommaso Ciampa. He's growing on me. When I first seen him and Johnny Gargano, when they first got called up, I put him in the same like category as Johnny Gargano, and I got to take that back because he's way better than Johnny Gargano. But he's still not a world champion material. But who knows? I mean, maybe bring back the hardcore title for him or something like that, or the cruiserweight title, or the wee small man title. Bring back a European title level or something, and maybe he can win that. But no, the guy's not world championship material. Damian Priest then snaps backstage at JD McDonagh. He says, "You're not in the Judgment Day, so get out." Judgment Day's clubhouse is like all purple, all emo looking. Third match, Tegan Nox beats Natalya with a Shining Wizard. Becky was on commentary trying to put over Negan, but that's not going to work. Then we got Ricochet backstage. He says that He doesn't care if Nakamura wins or doesn't win. He is getting a shot because he's got unfinished business with Nakamura. Then Seth Rollins came out. He says Nakamura has got a chance now. You either accept this match or you don't, or you lose your chance. The floor is yours. Then we get a pre-recorded message for Nakamura. Basically says, I deal the hand. You show all your cards. You've got an injury. I accept your challenge. Last man standing. So at Fastlane, it's going to be Nakamura versus Seth Rollins. Then Seth Rollins says that it doesn't matter if my back's broken because it's not a weakness. When I give 100%, I'm the best in the world. So who knows? Maybe CM Punk will turn up and give him the GTS. But we're getting Nakamura versus Seth Rollins again. I seriously do not care. Dominic Mysterio versus Dragon Lee for WWE NXT North American Championship. Good match, I guess. I like Dominic Mysterio. I think the guy's coming on leaps and bounds. I know a lot of people don't like him, but for me, he is easily the best member of the Judgment Day. And I'm excited to see what happens with Dominic's future. If anyone should be the leader, it should be Dominic Mysterio. But unfortunately, he's like this little simp, this little pussy boy that, you know, hangs on to Mammy. He's got like some sort of mum fetish. And it is weird. And I get it's getting him over. I mean, I get that. But sooner or later, I'd like to see Dominic grow a set and just become... Like, they make fun of him being like Dirty Dom and he's been in prison and all this stuff. I'd actually like to see them go down a more serious route with Dominic Mysterio, where he has done the jail time and he turns into, like, you know, the most badass member of the group. So the most ruthless, the most violent. I'd like to see that for Dominic down the line. I get what they're doing at the moment to try and get him the sleazy, cheap, he's a coward sort of heat. I get that, but sooner or later, I would like to see Dominic Mysterio man up and become the leader of this faction, or just go out on his own, I guess. But Dragon Lee, I guess, helped put on a good match, whatever. We then got Michael Cole's interview with Nia Jax. Nia Jax is fucking horrible. She says, I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention to you. Relax, I am Nia Jax. I mean, fuck off. The baddest woman, the baddest human in all of WWE. So I already know she is a woman. So she is the baddest human in all of WWE. Then she names all the people she took out. She says, get in the ring with me, put anybody in the ring with me, and I will squash them. And you want to know why, Michael? Because I'm Nia Jax, the baddest human in all of WWE. That's the way she said it. WWE. So, yeah, that's what Nia Jax said. I think she was trying to eat the mic while cutting this promo. Doesn't surprise me. She's a fat bastard, so she can probably eat more than the mic. She'd probably eat the Miz, Mike Mycerium, for God's sake. Zoe Stark came out, cut a shite promo as well. You want to squash me to my face, Nia. Then they had a match, garbage match. Nia wins, hits the Annihilator, squashes her like a pancake. And when that big fat ass is hitting on you, then you know you're fucked. Then we got Ludwig Kaiser, again, trying to get with Maxine Dupree. Who cares? Gunther then bashed both members of Imperium and says that if Vinci does something wrong, he will blame Kaiser anyway. Then we got Miz TV with Drew McIntyre, and this must be one of the best Miz TVs that I've seen in the last, like, probably forever, to be fair. I think we had a good one with, like, Cena. I like the one he did with Cena, the Invisible Cena. But no, this was a good Miz TV. I liked Drew McIntyre, or more serious Drew McIntyre. Looks like he's turning heel. Just need to get rid of that sword, because that sword gimmick was doing him no favours whatsoever. I don't give a fuck if it's Angela or whatnot, or if it's got sentimental value, but some guy coming out with a sword, and you know he's never going to use it. It's incredibly lame. It's like 80s or 70s style of wrestling. That needs to go. Then the New Day interrupt McIntyre, and they keep like saying, why didn't you help Cody? Why didn't you help Jay? And Drew's like, well, all you guys were in the back and you didn't help them either. And which is true, to be fair. Miz was saying that him and Drew are a lot alike. Drew says, do not compare me. We are absolutely nothing alike. Then when the New Day came out and started bashing Drew, the Miz tried to defend Drew. He's like, don't you dare, and Drew just kept saying to the Miz, shut up, Miz. Shut up. And he kept telling the Miz to shut up. Then the crowd chanted, shut up, Miz. And I thought this was pretty good. Kofi Kingston says, Big D. He called him Big D. And then Xavier Woods says, I know for real, past few weeks we've been calling you Big D, but as of last week, it looks like there's been a little bit of a shrinkage on your end. Then he said, were you worried your big old sword is just a little too limp to get the job done? Why are the new... No, I don't get. I seriously don't get this. Why are the New Day coming out bitching about Drew McIntyre not helping last week when they didn't help? I mean, this makes no sense. And when Drew said this, he owned them because he told the truth. I mean, these guys are heel. These guys are faces. Okay, the New Day are supposed to be a face faction, and they could have helped Cody Rhodes. They could have helped Jey Uso, but instead, they would rather come out and they would rather bash Drew McIntyre because he done nothing. But he done the exact same thing that these guys done. Nothing. So how are they coming out trying to take the high ground by bashing Drew McIntyre? Honestly, doesn't make a lot of sense. But I like this segment. It was pretty good. Miz then would not shut up. He put his, when this hand goes up, your mouth goes. And then Drew says, shut up, Miz. And then Miz just like looked at his hand like it was John Cena. I thought it was funny. Then the Miz tried to say something else. McIntyre hit him with a headbutt and it led to the next match. Drew McIntyre versus the Kofi Kingston. Drew McIntyre defeated Kofi Kingston. I mean, it was an okay match. We had Xavier Woods get attacked by the Viking Raiders on the outside. Then Drew took advantage to beat Kofi Kingston with the Claymore. So we got that. It is confirmed that next week Tegan Nox will get a shot at the NXT Women's Championship. So, I mean, yeah, if you're interested in that, then, I mean, fair enough for you. But I don't care about Tegan Nox, so... that'll be a sleeper match, piss break match, I'm sure. Then in the main event, it was a Judgment Day versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, undisputed WWE Tag Team Championships on the line. The match itself didn't really interest me, but what I will say is, at least with the ending, it was a bit chaotic. You had Dominic come out, then you had Jey Uso come out. We had JD McDonagh in there attack Uso, and then Cody Rhodes came out to make the save, and everyone was just brawling on the outside. Sami Zayn hit the Helluva kick on Priest, but then JD McDonagh hit Sami Zayn with the title belt. Damian Priest got the win. After the match, everybody else came running out. Cody Rhodes, Jey Uso, Owens was in the ring, Zayn was in the ring. It was like an 8-man brawl. We had officials out there, referees out there trying to break it up, and it was an interesting ending. I will give it that. I mean, at least something happened. You had a bit of chaos going on, and it reminded me, I guess, of an older WWE style ending to a show. Was it great? No, because I'm sick of seeing these guys, and I just want them to move on. But at least it was better than what you normally get. Someone wins a match and then they walk up the ramp and they stare at the person in the ring, then the show ends. You know, how many times do we see that in wrestling these days? At least we got something a little bit different with a big massive brawl to end the show. But just the Judgment Day versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, it just needs to move on. Cody Rhodes at the moment sucks with the Judgment Day, and Jey Uso has done nothing since moving to Raw. Raw's just got a serious lack of main eventers right now. Like, Seth Rollins is the champion, but you just would not think it. You honestly wouldn't. They need to get the belt off Seth Rollins. This Seth Rollins Nakamura feud's been garbage. And then tonight, Seth Rollins just a one and done segment in the mid card, right in the middle of the show. I don't know what they're doing with Raw. I really don't. But I tell you what, I did like Miz TV, and I thought the ending of the show was decent. I'll give it a 2 out of 10. I think I'm being fair. Everything else sucked. But like I said, I did like the ending, and I thought Miz TV was one of the better Miz TVs you'll see. So, yeah, for me, I'm going to get a 2 out of 10, guys. Let me know your thoughts down below. I'll catch you in the next one. But until then, peace.